Hello and a very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Spanish Grand Prix. 0 being awful, 10 being amazing. Let's get into it. All 20 drivers covered. And where do we start? We'll start at the other end of the spectrum today. Sergei Sorokin, 1 out of 10. What does this guy do apart from being a pound note? What does he do? Generally don't think he's good enough. I mean, Stroll, I got informed on the comments that Stroll even lapped his teammates, so that's unbelievable. What does Sergei Sorokin do? 1 out of 10. Stroll, 6. And the reason I give him 6, yes, he crashed in qualifying, but a great recovery in the race. Tough qualifying, crashed, pushing the limits. The Williams car's awful. Amazing start, goes under the radar, and nearly got points in the Williams, so that's why I give him 6. Stoffel van Dorn, good qualifying, 4 out of 10. Good qualifying, retired from the race on the back straight. Needs to up his game though against Fernando Alonso, because Alonso is hammering him at the minute. On to his teammate and the home favourite of the Spanish Grand Prix, Alonso, 8. Superb once again in front of his home crowd. P8 in qualifying, P8 in the race, more points in the bag for McLaren, solid by the two-time champion. Gasly, 3 out of 10. Innocent party on the first lap, but he's retired from the race, so you can't really give him much higher. He got to do 3 corners in the race, decent qualifying by Pierre Gasly, but you can't really mark him any higher, because he's done three corners in the race. Brendan Hartley, 4. Didn't get to do qualifying, massive shunt in practice 3, but again, he's another one who's come back in the race. Massive crash practice 3, missed qualifying, and generally had a good race. I think he finished 12th, and again, he pulled off down the start-finishing line after the race. On to Romain Grosjean. Now, I've got 2 written down here. No, he's not getting 2, he's getting 1. Decent qualifying, once again by Grosjean. But this is where he's getting battered by Kevin Magnussen. I don't think he's scored a point this season. Had a massive fuck up at Baku, losing it under the safety car, and he's done it again. Spins his tyres round, causes loads of smoke. People can't see where they're going, and he causes a 3-car pileup. 2 big errors in 2 weekends for Romain Grosjean. I give him 1, and that's been kind. Could give him 0. Getting hammered by Kevin Magnussen. On to my star of the season, Kevin Magnussen, 9. Best of the rest all weekends. Best of the rest in qualifying. Best of the rest in the race. Theoretically, he should get 7. It's like a pole and a race win, the best of the rest race. So Magnussen is winning Poland, if you get what I'm saying. But because Raikkonen retired, he gets 6 in the race. So 9 out of 10, Kevin Magnussen. Superb this season. Just needs to cut out his dirty boy tactics. On to another favourite of mine, Charles Leclerc, outperforming the Sauber once again. Huge battle with Alonso during the race, and he's a mega talent, this guy. Back-to-back points, outperforming the Sauber, outperforming his teammate, Charles Leclerc. I want to see him in the Ferrari. Ericsson, 3 out of 10. All I've got written down, outshined by Leclerc. Simple. I think he got 13th in the race out of 14. Charles Leclerc got 10th. Yeah. Another home favourite, Carlos Sainz, 9 out of 10. Tough start to the season. Finally beats Hulkenberg in qualifying. Finally beats him in the race. Home crowd. And good race for Carlos Sainz. And he beat Alonso in the race. So yeah, he was close to getting my driver of the day because he's had a tough season. But you got to give it Hulkenberg. Definitely not Hulkenberg. Kevin Magnussen. Although officially Lewis Hamilton won driver of the day. On to Nico Hulkenberg. Now I'm a great believer that this guy's underrated, but I've got to mark him down. Mr. Consistent had an awful weekend. Yes, he had a problem in qualifying, but a poor qualifying, knocked out in Q1. And the race, obviously, another innocent party. Grosjean causes smoke. Hulkenberg's nowhere to go. But I've got to give Hulk 2 out of 10. Poor weekend, and outshined by Sainz. Ocon, 4 out of 10. Tough weekend, decent race, but pit stop took forever, and that basically ruined his race, and then he later retired. Sergio Perez, 6 out of 10. Back in the points, podium at Baku, back in the points, tough qualifying, good comeback in the race for P9. Managed to get Charles Leclerc in there last couple of laps. Right, on to the big boys. Valtteri Bottas, 9 out of 10. Almost got pole, superb weekend, fast all weekend, 1-2 for Mercedes. I thought Bottas had a great weekend. Lewis Hamilton, now this is not me being biased, I gave 10 to Ricciardo at Baku. He's got to get 10, I'm sorry, that is not me being biased. Dominant all weekend, pole position, race win, led every single lap. He's just in a class of one. When he's like that, he's unbeatable. But we all know he has an off weekend now and again. So, Lewis Hamilton, 10 out of 10. Now, Kimi and Daniel Ricciardo I'm going to do together. Both 5 out of 10. Now, 5's just the average mark. Nothing spectacular, just solid. Basic 5, nothing spectacular. The only positive for Daniel Ricciardo is he got fastest lap in the race, but that's his only highlight. Them two had both really average qualifying, average race, nothing spectacular. Max, 8 out of 10 for Max. Tough start to the season, as we all know. Much better weekend. First podium of the season. Of course, Sebastian Vettel pitting boosted it out, but back on the podium for the Dutchman, and all his critics can take one of those. Seb, last driver. I don't know why I've got Ricciardo and Kimi next to each other. They're not even teammates. So we're on to the last driver, Sebastian Vettel. 7 out of 10. Bit disappointing by Vettel's standards. I mean, he's not really been on it much weekend. Still good points. Pit stop under the virtual safety car. Very strange decision. You would always want track position. He's gone from second down to fourth. Of course he had fresher tyres, but it just didn't work. And he basically ended up losing 6 points, because 18 points for second, 12 for fourth. So he lost 6 points. And who knows, come Abu Dhabi, if he's behind Hamilton or by 6 points, they could be the 6 points that make the difference. But that is the Spanish Grand Prix done. Highest ratings go to Lewis Hamilton, Kevin Magnussen with a 9, Sainz with a 9, Alonso and Leclerc scoring highly, Sorokin and Grosjean. Rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. Romain Grosjean will take a free place grid penalty into the next race, which is Monte Carlo, Monaco. One of the toughest, most unforgiving circuits, steeped in F1 history, but usually is a snooze fest of a Grand Prix. So, Spain done, qualifying reaction, driver ratings. That wraps up the Spanish Grand Prix. And I'll see you for the Monaco qualifying reaction. Adios.